Senate Bill 591.
Senator Hanger, the gentleman from Augusta.
Thank you, Madam President. I would ask that this bill go by temporarily so I can work on a strategy.
Without objection, Senate Bill 591 goes by temporarily.
Returning to page 19. Senate Bill 591.
Chair recognizes the brave gentleman from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Thank you. Madam President, parliamentary inquiry.
Senator may continue.
The governor's proposed amendment was presented to us in the form of a substitute. Are any provisions of this, how do you say it, independent and severable? And I might know the answer to that, but I hope you go the way I want to. Been working this on with Senator McPike from Prince William.
As I understand it, Senator, having been looking over this question, it is an amendment in the nature of a substitute. It is a whole bill. It is one amendment.
So, Madam President,
You want to answer?
you just have to move. You have to move.
I'll move that.
You move the determination, right? And no. It's not
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm getting help here, Madam President.
Yes, sir. I didn't say anything.
And I didn't realize he was on my side even.
I love the bipartisanship, Senator.
I would like to move that the provisions of this substitute are severable.
The question is, shall the Senate determine that the governor's recommendation is specific?
Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator McPike, the gentleman from Prince William.
Thank you, Madam President. Speaking to the motion, and I guess maybe from a parliamentary clarity standpoint, a no, which means the bill as presented as a substitute as a whole, would allow the chamber to, I think, do what the gentleman wants, which is to send it to committee. There's been some discussions with the governor's office and folks down the hall on some work that needs to be done. So a red vote on this, meaning it is not severable, would by constitution allow the body and send this bill to committee. Is that correct, Madam President?
From what I understand, sir, a yes vote means it will be taken up on the floor and not sent back to committee.
That's correct. So no. So, speaking to the motion.
The senator may continue.
Thank you. I'd encourage the body to vote no, as the gentleman has proposed to vote, and puts it in a posture to work through a number of different things that I think folks realize. First off, the good thing is there's been some discussions with the governor's office. Unfortunately, that did not happen prior to the governor's substitute being before the body. I think a lot of us, at least in our caucus, recognize there's a lot of problems with the additional crimes that have been proposed. There are additional issues that need to be worked out that I think we need some work on. But I won't get into more details because I think the patron and others are in a little bit more in occurrence now on the need for additional work and address those in the budget. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the gentlelady from Arlington, Senator Favola.
Madam President, I rise for a parliamentary inquiry.
Senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. If, in fact, the bill is recommitted to the Committee of Rehabilitation and Social Services, that would preclude the governor then from signing the underlying bill. Is that a correct interpretation?
That is correct because we are taking up the substitute. You said the underlying bill.
May I, Madam President, may I clarify further?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So My understanding is, listening to the motions, we may be leaning towards sending the substitute back to rehabilitation and social services. If that were to happen...
If that is a no vote.
Correct. So if that were to happen, that does preclude the governor, however, from signing the underlying bill.
The enrolled bill... Yes, that's right. The enrolled bill goes back to the committee.
So that I am correct.
And the substitute then is not before you.
It's not before us, and it's not before the governor.
No.
Or the enrolled bill is not before the governor.
You're taking action on the governor's...
Yeah. I just wanted
action.
to be clear that everybody can understand that that's what, in fact, would happen with the most, depending on how the vote comes out.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam President.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from James City County, Senator Norment.
Thank you, Madam President. Before the gentlelady sits down, if she would be so gentle to yield for a question.
Will the gentlelady from Arlington yield?
Yes, Madam President, I yield.
Senator Norment has the floor.
Is she chair of rehab?
Yes, I am the chair of rehab.
Madam President, before I ask the question, I wanted to be sure I didn't trip over my shoelaces a second time today. Hypothetically, if the body as a whole were to vote no, then the bill would be in its present form, an amendment in the nature of the substitute, and the governor could not sign it. But with an appropriate motion, it could be referred back to committee, which would be unusual circumstances as far as the protocol of the Senate. But my question to you would be, as chairman of that committee, would it be your intention to, at some future date, convene the Committee on Rehabilitation and Social Services to consider it?
The senator from Arlington has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. It would not be my intent to convene the committee during this period. If you're asking through December 30th to reconsider the bill. We do have session 2023 before us. I would encourage those who have an interest in the bill to certainly work on it and come up with options that we may be willing to consider, but that is my answer.
Madam President.
Senator Norment has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. After listening to that response, I was reminded how insightful the young lady is.
Senator McPike.
Thank you, Madam President. Just as a follow-up point to clarify for the body from a procedural perspective.
The senator may continue.
There are, as you may be reminded, we would need to vote for extending reconvene by what's allowable by 3 days in order to do and actually have productive construct around this. I don't think anybody in this chamber is interested in extending this session for 3 days. So from a practical standpoint, it is more effective to deal with it in terms of the budget and specific items that still need to be worked out and addressed. That affords us more time. And so as respect of the whole, there's a little bit too much work in extending the reconvene to do that. So thank you.
The gentlelady from Enrico, Senator Dunnavant.
Madam Chairman, Madam President, speak to the motion.
The senator has the floor.
Had intended to clarify if we were deciding with this vote to kill this bill or any action this year. And I understand now after the conversation that we indeed are. And I really do have a problem with that. And that is because one major sentinel reason is that we have heard the news reports about how many injuries and hospitalizations and jeopardy there has been for the premise of the underlying bill, which are these candied-shaped, means of marketing something that is very detrimental to children and to others and to elderly. And for this body to fail to take action this year, when by sending the bill back to committee where nothing can happen, and that's the intent, I think is really an egregious irresponsibility when we need to take action about these candies that children are thinking are innocent and they indeed are not. So I hope that the body will vote that this is specific and severable so that one form of this bill can be entertained and dealt with this year. Thank you, Madam President.
Chair recognizes the senior senator from Richmond City, Senator McClellan.
Parliamentary inquiry.
The senator may continue.
If the bill is sent back to committee, does the committee have the option to carry the bill over into special session?
I think I figured this one out, Senator, all by myself.
Okay.
And because it was not carried over as part of the resolution for the special session, then the answer would be no.
Okay. Speaking to the motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I understand that there is a lot of angst that there is not a bill to move forward at this time. But if we're being frank, this is an issue that is complicated enough that it probably needs more deliberation than a completely new substitute from the third floor. I think it is up to this body to work through the policy implications of whatever we are going to do related to marijuana and hemp legalization. And we still have the opportunity to do that through the budget, which is in special session. And I think we should be the ones to decide how we move forward on an issue that we have had 2 JLARC studies, a commission look at, and several committees. We should be the ones to finalize how this policy is going to move forward.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from James City County, Senator Norment.
Madam President, speaking to the remarks that were just made on a procedural approach.
The senator may continue.
Point number one, it is abundantly clear that this is an amendment in the nature of a substitute, and it is not separate and it is not severable. That is unequivocally accurate. Number two, this body under these circumstances does not have the jurisdiction or authority to carry a bill over to a special session. Number three, the budget bill is still alive and in discussions, and hypothetically something could be put in there to address it, provided that there is a vehicle that currently exists within the budget that would allow it to reasonably be inserted. We have been through this a number of times, and I, in fact, have been a culprit, historically speaking, and I own that. But if we start down that path again of inserting items into the budget that were either defeated in a form of legislation or inserting it in when there was nothing in either the House or the Senate budget to start out, we're literally about to create pandemonium.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Chesapeake,
Somebody.
the senior senator.
Thank you, Madam President. Just speak to the issue.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, just to throw some black dye in some very muddy water, sending this back to the budget negotiations is an incredibly bad idea. We can't even get a regular budget out of here, much less throwing marijuana into it. I mean, you want to talk about a budget going up in smoke? This would do it. Please, let's either just put this thing away, but please don't stick it in the budget process. They have enough work to do trying to get money to our localities instead of working with all of this. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the gentlelady from Fauquier, Senator Vogel.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to associate my remarks with those made from the gentlelady from Richmond City, and I would just
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. I apologize. I would just like to urge the members of this body to tread cautiously, and I don't want to speak for the patron, but I think it's my understanding that the patron is okay with this bill going back to committee. And given that that's the case, I think that while we are concerned about the issues related to the shapes of gummies and those issues that we know we need to and should address, I do not think that we should pass a bill that I know for a fact has issues that I'm not comfortable passing just because we feel like we have to get it done today. And I'm really, really uncomfortable with that. I know all of us in this room have heard from people in the districts that we represent about a number of issues that it raises. And certainly, if the patron himself is willing to have it go back to committee and be reconsidered, I would urge the members of the body to not be hasty. And I would agree that, rushing it through the budget process is also, I think, ill-advised. I think we have had bills before where we've had to wait patiently to get it right. And I would suggest that this is certainly one of those bills. Thank you, Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator Howell, the gentlelady from Northern Fairfax County.
Thank you. Speaking to the proposal.
Senator may continue.
I don't think there's anybody here who feels more strongly than I do that we should legalize marijuana. It's been my position ever since the 1960s when I saw the damage that was done to so many people by being incarcerated and other problems for something that was really sort of a minor infraction. But I absolutely, adamantly oppose the idea of sending it back to the Finance Committee. First of all, we have been resisting legislating through the budget, and this would be the biggest legislation through the budget yet proposed. Secondly, how would we put it in budget conference when it's not in either budget? It can't be done, or it certainly shouldn't be done. So I would urge the body not to support that proposal. Thank you.
Madam
Chair recognizes the gentlelady from Richmond City, Senator McClellan.
Thank you, Madam President. I have another parliamentary inquiry.
Senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Based on the procedural resolution adopted at the beginning of special session, am I correct that the governor can send down a bill on any item he wishes in the special session?
The senator would be correct.
Thank you, Madam President.
Chair recognizes the gentlelady from Northwestern Fairfax County, Senator Boysko.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, we have a solution here. We passed the underlying measure unanimously in this body. I believe I have it here. The House amendment, okay. But the original bill that we passed here was unanimous, 33-7 on the final passage with the House amendment. We could reject the governor's amendment and pass the underlying bill. And I want to talk about a few reasons why I think we should do that. The gentlelady from Henrico County made an excellent point. The amendments that the governor put on were not based in science. He did not address a lot of the safety concerns. He drastically, changed the levels of the THC allowed to be sold, in the way it's measured is far outside of the industry standards for assurance of safety and reliability under this legislation. The changes from THC from milligrams per serving to the percentage of the total size is what creates a serious problem for the safety of those who use canaboid oils, which are in those gummies. For example, a person who bought a brownie with a 0.3% THC content, if that brownie was 90 grams and they used full spectrum hemp or full spectrum CBD, that brownie would result in a product that would contain 270 milligrams of THC. That is more than 27 times the allowed strength, which would be very, very unsafe. In the original bill, edible cannabis products would be permitted to contain no more than 50 milligrams of THC. This is the bill that we passed in this body. And, you know, I can only imagine that perhaps the people who were suggesting to the governor that it should be changed, I don't know that they knew the details in this. Additionally, the substitute amendment did not include, and I'm going to probably butcher this, synthetic tetrahydrocannabinoids in the definition of cannabis, but they only signaled out delta THC.
The senator will suspend. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, if you will please be more quiet. Thank you. The senator will continue.
He only singled out delta H THC, but there are others. There's delta 7, there's delta 10, and those would be completely unregulated as they are today. If we decide to do nothing on this bill and send it back to committee, all of those will still be unregulated, and there will be kids who are being hurt. There will be elderly people who are being hurt. We owe it to the people of Virginians to take a step. I propose that we reject the governor's amendment and let him decide if he's going to veto it or not. I hope that he will realize that the underlying bill is good policy that was well vetted and well researched, working with experts. I don't claim to be an expert. I know many of us aren't, but that is the advice that I believe we should take. And I move that we reject the Senate amendment and allow the underlying bill to go back to the governor, and hopefully he'll sign it.
The senators will please take their seats.
Hold on.
The senators will please take their seats. Chair recognizes the senator from James City County, Senator Norment.
Thank you, Madam President. There obviously are a couple of conversations going on and a soliloquy about this, and we started out with a parliamentary inquiry when we deteriorated into debating the substance of the bill. I would respectfully request, Madam President, that we stand in recess until 4:20, and that that at least the Senate Republicans retire to a normal prayer meeting where maybe this toke is for you and we can get some clarity on this.
Chair recognizes the senator from Hampton, Senator Locke.
Thank you, Madam President. And upon recess, if the Senate Democrats would meet in the room in the back, and maybe they can get some clarity as well.
Without objection, the Senate is in recess until 4:20 p.m. The Senate will return to order. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In regards to the motion on the floor, I ask permission to withdraw that motion.
Without objection, the motion is withdrawn.
Thank you, Madam President. I would then offer the motion that the proposed governor's amendments to Senate Bill 591 be passed by for the day.
Without objection.
Madam President, objection. Madam President.
For what purpose does the gentleman rise?
Well, first an objection. Ask without objection. Objection.
Senator Newman has the floor. The question is, shall the bill go by for the day? Those who are in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The bill goes by for the day. 8 hands. This will be a recorded vote. The question is, shall the bill pass by for the day? Those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 20, noes 20.
The chair rules aye. The bill goes by for the day. The Senate will return to order. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Augusta, Senator Hanger.
Thank you, Madam President. Having voted on the prevailing side whereby Senate Bill 591 was passed by for the day, I ask that we reconsider that vote.
The question is, shall the vote by which Senate Bill 591 was passed be reconsidered? Those in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, noes 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The vote is reconsidered. Senator Hanger.
Thank you, Madam President. As it relates to Senate Bill 591, which is now before us, I would move that the Senate determine that the governor's recommendations is specific and severable.
The question is,
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the senator from Bedford.
Madam President, parliamentary inquiry. If the desire was for the bill to go back to committee so that more work can be done on the bill, the proper vote would be no. Is that correct, Madam President?
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you, Madam President.
The question is, shall the Senate determine the governor's recommendation is specific and severable? All in favor of determining that the governor's recommendation is specific and severable will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 0, noes 40.
Ayes 0, noes 40. The governor's recommendation is not specific and severable.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Augusta.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Senator may continue.
Does that, based on our rules, then send the bill back to the Rehabilitation and Social Services Committee?
You are correct, sir. The bill automatically returns to that committee.
Thank you, Madam President.
Chair recognizes the gentlelady from Arlington, Senator Favola.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, this is a parliamentary inquiry. I thought the vote before us was on the question of segregable, and that is a separate question from sending it back to the committee, is it not?
No. It's automatic.
You might recall, Senator, that the senator from Richmond City, the senior senator, had asked certain questions related to that, and I said to her that if we voted no, it would go to committee. If we voted yes, it would stay on the floor. And so I had answered that question prior, and I answered it again just before the vote when the senator from Bedford asked that question. And so I said at that time, right before this vote, that it automatically goes back to committee because it's part of the process. Yeah.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
I will take a break for 30 seconds and I'll be back.
The senator from Accomack, Senator Lewis.
I have a parliamentary inquiry just for my own edification. It's not all that sexy, but since the motion was that we reconsider the vote by which we had it go by for the day, don't we need to vote on it going by for the day again?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
It is in the form as in all the others that we have voted. We immediately went to the matter before us itself.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the senior senator from
a 10-minute recess.
If I can please be allowed to recognize the gentleman properly. The senator from Fairfax County.
Could we have a 10-minute recess, and I would request that we meet in the back room.
We, sir?
No, just the Senate Democrats. No, just the good guys.
Without objection. Is there any other business to come before the Senate? The clerk will report any announcements.
We have no announcements. Have a safe trip home.
Chair calls on the senator from Portsmouth, Senator Lucas.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the Senate do now adjourn sine die.
The question is, shall the Senate adjourn sine die? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Senate is adjourned sine die.